If your current savings account is paying less than 1% per year, you are losing money every single day to inflation. So in this video, I'm going to cover 10 of the best savings accounts from lowest APY to highest so that you can find a better place to put your money. My name is Douglas, and if you want more simple, no BS advice about saving and growing your money, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be posting videos like this every week. And a quick disclaimer is that these interest rates are constantly changing day by day and week by week. So depending on when you watch this video, some of the interest rates you see may be slightly higher or lower than what we discuss in the video. And believe it or not, the interest rate that your bank offers isn't everything. There are a few other important considerations that you want to keep in mind before you choose your savings account. First up, you want to make sure that your savings account is FDIC insured up to $250,000. Being FDIC insured essentially means that your savings account is backed by the government up to a certain amount of money, so that if the bank is unable to pay you back for whatever reason, if there's an economic catastrophe, you can still get your money back up to $250 grand. Thankfully, all of the accounts that we discuss in this list are FDIC insured. Second, you want to look critically at rate stability and promotional interest rates. So a lot of these savings accounts, when you go to their websites, they're going to be offering huge interest rates, many of them over 4%, but oftentimes those are going to be promotional rates that are only available for between 3 and 6 months. The number that you want to focus on more is going to be the base APY. You also want to check to see if the account requires you to set up a direct deposit in order to get access to the higher interest rate. This is relatively uncommon, but there are several accounts, including 1 or 2 on this list, that do make that a requirement. And of course, you have to take into account the level of customer support and bank reputation. Some of the names on this list have been around for a long time and are very reputable. Others are a lot newer. But for certain people, having stellar customer service can be worth sacrificing 0.1 or 0.2% when it comes to getting the best interest rate. So with that out of the way, let's get into the list. Starting things off, we have Ally Bank coming in with a current APY of 3.3%. Now, Ally is one of the earliest and most established players in the world of online banking, and they're well known for having no minimum balance requirements and no monthly fees associated with their savings account. They also have a great mobile app that's very easy to use and pretty stellar customer support. And this is one of the few accounts on this list where I can personally vouch for the customer service because I have been an Ally Bank customer for the best part of the last 5 years. I don't think I've ever had any major issue navigating the platform or the mobile app, and anytime I have had questions, it's been really easy to get someone over the phone. But one con to take into account is that the APY with Ally does tend to lag behind some of its newer competitors in the online banking industry. I do think that 5 to 10 years ago, the savings rates offered by Ally were a little bit more competitive, whereas now they do lag a couple points behind. But for set and forget savers who value customer service and a clean, easy to use mobile app, I do think Ally is still a great way to go. The savings rate is still going to be way better than what you'd get from a conventional bank, but just be aware you may be leaving a little bit on the table when it comes to getting the absolute best rate on the market. Next up, we have the American Express High Yield Savings Account, also coming in with an APY of 3.3%. Now, while they are more recognizable in the credit card world, Amex is still a very recognizable brand in the finance industry. Similar to Ally, Amex is going to require no minimum balance and no fees to get started with their savings account. But unlike Ally and some of the more complex finance platforms on this list, you're not going to have access to other investing tools. It's really just a more simple savings account that can pair with other Amex credit cards you already have. Now, of course, you can open an Amex savings account without having any other Amex credit card, but in my opinion, the main perk of using this savings account is if you do already have either the Amex Gold or the Blue Cash Everyday, just because if you already have an Amex card, getting the Amex savings account means that you can have everything in one place, which can make managing your money just that much easier. And for that reason, I think this is going to be a great recommendation for those of you who are already a part of that Amex ecosystem. Next up, we have the Wealthfront Cash Account, which is going to offer a base rate of 3.25% and a promotional rate of 3.9%. Now, one thing that makes Wealthfront unique is that it is not a traditional bank, rather it is a cash management account. So basically, Wealthfront is going to put your cash into multiple affiliated partner banks that are each FDIC insured. But don't worry, because on the front end, it's just as easy to manage as any other savings account. Now, while that 3.25% base rate isn't particularly impressive, if you have a decent amount of money to put aside and save, getting that 6-month promotional bonus of 3.9% can actually make a pretty big difference in at least your short-term savings rate. Wealthfront also have an investing setup as part of their platform, so if you're interested in putting some money into ETFs or other individual stocks down the road, you are going to have that option. But if you want a fintech-friendly savings account that also offers a decent promotional rate for a short period of time, this is going to be a solid option. Next up at number 7, we have the Capital One 360 savings account, which currently offers an APY of 3.4%. Now with the Capital One account, you're going to get some similar benefits like we already discussed, including no minimum required balances and no fees required to open your account. Now maybe one of the most notable things about Capital One is that it is the only bank on this list that actually has in-person locations that you can walk to. Now for me personally, this isn't a huge deal, but if you're someone who would prefer to go to a physical bank location rather than call someone online, this could actually be a deal breaker. And having that in-person option is something that makes Capital One stand out among all of the other online accounts that are offered on this list. Now the APY with Capital One, while not quite market leading, is still going to be pretty competitive. And similar to American Express, if you already have some Capital One credit cards, opening the Capital One savings account can be a great way to have all of your finance tools in one place. Next up at number 6, we have Discover Bank Online Savings, which also offers a current APY of 3.4%. Now Discover is another company that's better known for their credit cards, especially their more beginner-friendly secured cards. So if you are young and just starting out your finance journey and already have one of the Discover cards, this can be a great online savings tool. And in order to get that annual fee, you're not going to need any minimum balance or any monthly fees. Now, while I haven't used their savings account, I have been a customer of Discover, and I can attest their mobile app being really easy to use and also them having solid 24/7 customer support. So this is going to be a great option for those looking for a simple online savings account, and also a great option for those looking for an account to pair with their existing Discover card. Next up, we're moving to number 5 with Marcus by Goldman Sachs, which currently offers a really solid 3.65% APY. This is one of the most competitive interest rates I could find on a savings account with no strings attached, including no fees and also no fine print, with a bonus period that expires after a few months. You're also not going to need to jump through any hoops like setting up direct deposit in order to get access to that interest rate. Another perk with Marcus is that you're able to make same-day transfers up to $100,000 a day to and from other banks. With Marcus, you're also going to have some access to other savings tools like high-yield CDs. Now with CDs, you can get access to a fixed interest rate for a certain period of time, like 6 months, just by locking up your money for that amount of time. Now the main benefit of having access to a CD is that the interest rates offered on them are often going to be slightly higher than the interest rate offered on a high-yield savings account. For example, with Marcus, you can currently get 4% yield on a 6-month CD compared to their 3.65% on a traditional savings account. You also have the benefit of Marcus being backed by a very large corporation in Goldman Sachs, and they have a pretty high reputation for customer support. Next up, we have CIT Bank, currently offering 3.75% APY. Now, CIT Bank, not to be confused with Citibank, has been consistently offering pretty competitive interest rates for a while now. Now, one slight catch is that in order to get access to that higher rate, you are going to need a minimum balance of $5,000. That's going to get you access to their Platinum savings account, but even if you end up having less than $5,000 in your account, you still have a base rate of 3.65% in their Savings Connect plan. So honestly, that's going to make this a good option for pretty much anyone at any balance level, but this is still going to be one of the best options for those who have a higher balance meeting that $5,000 mark. Next up at number 3, we have the SOFI savings account. Now this is one where you do have to read the fine print because SOFI is going to offer a base APY of 3.3% with a promotional rate of 4% for 6 months. Now the big catch when it comes to the SOFI account is that in order to get access to that great promotional bonus, you're going to have to either set up direct deposit or subscribe to SOFI Plus, which is $10 a month. Now the good thing about SOFI is that if you are interested in setting up an account, it's a pretty good all-access platform for checking, savings, investing, and even lending. But in my opinion, it's only really worth setting up a savings account with SOFI if you do plan on going the direct deposit route. I definitely don't think it's worth it to set up a SOFI Plus subscription because with all the other subscriptions that you're already paying for, there's just better places to put your money that aren't going to require that monthly fee. But as I already mentioned, if you're already a SOFI member or you're just willing to set up that direct deposit with a new account, then this is going to be a really solid option. Next up at number 2, we have Everbank, which is currently offering an APY of 3.9%. One thing I do like about Everbank after checking their website is that they do offer a really competitive rate without trying to deceive you with a ton of promotional tactics. And unlike CIT or SOFI for that matter, you're not going to have any minimum balance requirement and you're not going to have any monthly fee requirement. Now, while they are working on adding more features, I do think that Everbank is best used solely as a savings tool because there just aren't that many ways to invest through the platform. And I will say say after combing through some forums online, the reviews of the customer support are a little bit mixed. Some people say that the support hasn't been that helpful, while other people say they haven't had any issue. But if you are just interested in a savings account without too many other complex features and you want a really competitive interest rate, this is going to be a great choice. And just like all of the other accounts on this list, if you're not too sure about the user interface, the mobile app, or the customer support, you can always just open an account and put a few dollars in there and just see how you like the feel of things. And later, if you do feel comfortable with the service, you like the customer support, then you can gradually add more of your money. And finally, at number 1, with the highest APY I could currently find, we have Openbank. Now, Openbank is essentially the online branch of Spanish conglomerate Santander, which is a European bank that operates worldwide. Like all the other banks on this list, they are FDIC insured and they don't have any complex requirements to open an account. Now, I will say I kind of admire just the simplicity of the layout that Openbank offers. They literally have no other products on display on their website outside of their high yield savings account. That's pretty much all they do. Now, some people may want more other tools at their disposal, but I think a lot of people, especially those watching this video, may just be interested in a simple savings account and that's it. Now, while there are no monthly fees to worry about, you are going to need an initial $500 deposit to open your account. Now, while Santander is a very well-known bank that's been operating for decades, it should be noted that Openbank itself has only been released in the US for a little over 2 years. So as is common with many other new releases, the reviews of the mobile app have been mixed. But since they are backed by such a large corporation, I imagine that they are working regularly to fix any bugs and any issues as they come up. So I'd still recommend this savings account for those interested in getting one of the most competitive rates on the market, as long as they're okay sacrificing other investment features that won't be available with this platform. And guys, that is going to do it for this video. And just remember, whichever platform you decide to go with in the end, earning anywhere from 3 to 4% on your money is still going to be way better than what you would get from a conventional bank account. And of course, there are so many different savings accounts on the market, so if there are any that you think I've missed, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you've enjoyed because it really helps me out, and I will see you in the next video.